Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in as we now turn our attention to something that is vitally important for every South African to tune into. We're currently, of course, in the middle of July, the month that brings awareness to mental illness. Now, according to Pharma Dynamics, get this down, a leading provider of antidepressant medication and advocate for mental illness, over 1 million people in South Africa are on one form of antidepressant or another. We're joined by a Pharma Dynamics spokesperson, Mariska van Aswegen, to shed some more light on this topic. Mariska, thank you so much for joining us. I always find our chats hugely interesting. There is so much information to absorb, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. 1 million people on antidepressants. Should this shock us? Is this a global phenomenon? Talk to us about the mental health of South Africa.
Graham, if we compare South African statistics to the global statistics, that 1 in 5 means about 20% of South Africans suffer from mental illness or depression. And globally, it's about 5%. So yes, we are slightly ahead of the global averages. But what is even more shocking, the World Health Organization statistics show us that about 20% increase in people diagnosed with depression worldwide. So it is a global health issue at the moment, and it's necessary for us to take note about health issues, mental health issues in general, but depression specifically. It's
almost become the modern mental or human condition, if I can put it that way. I suppose the biggest issue here is someone who is depressed often can't tell those symptoms because they are so caught up in what's happening to them, whether it's situational or otherwise. What are the signs of depression for both the person experiencing it and those for loved ones and people that might be witnessing something like that?
I think very importantly, you mentioned people close to you, loved ones, because they are often the people who notice these changes in behavior. And that can range from insomnia, changes in eating habits, changes in enjoying activities that you used to enjoy in the past, but you don't want to, you have no interest in taking part in those activities. Feelings of worthlessness. And if you experience these feelings for longer than 2 weeks at a time, it means that you probably have depression and then you need to find the right medical help to assist in dealing with those feelings.
Because a lot of South Africans, out there, I would imagine saying, but come on, this is life. It's tough, it's hard, work is hard. There are so many pressures economically. There is a lot going on. How do you tell the difference? How do you know when something is not just situational and where you are in your life, but something that you do really need to get treated?
The rule of thumb is that if you experience these feelings for longer than two weeks, as I've mentioned, it is maybe worth it to talk to a healthcare professional to assist you in diagnosing depression. If it is depression, you can talk to a healthcare professional. You can phone the Pharma Dynamics helpline, which has trained counsellors that can just talk you through it and identify whether or not the symptoms you are experiencing are indeed depression, and then assist in getting the right treatment if necessary.
I'm glad you said the right treatment, because we on social media especially, where we've got that anonymity, we get so many people approaching us because we have that large kind of base to connect with, and I'm often thinking, why are you speaking to me? You should speak to a loved one, someone you know, or at least to a professional. Why do we look for that anonymous person to connect to and not go to the people that we know should be helping us?
There's still such a huge stigma attached to mental health issues. So we're afraid to show weakness, if I can call it that, because if you admit to suffering from depression, absolutely. If you admit to suffering from depression, you are scared to be labelled in the work environment, amongst your friends, because often these people also who suffer from depression also withdraw from society because of them being afraid of being labelled by other people. And the important thing is that we need to realise that you're not alone. There are effective treatment out there, and it can potentially be life-threatening as well and dangerous, especially if we look at our children. A shocking statistic is that almost 32% of our teenagers have attempted suicide. Wow. And that is really something that we need to take note of and not just sweep it under the carpet, and rather attend to those symptoms, get the proper diagnosis and the right treatment before it's too late.
And I'm going to add to that emphatically that you are not alone and that there is treatment available to you. You must speak to the right person. Mariska, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know we could continue chatting for hours, but you can let us know if you have experienced something like this, what you have done to get your strength back and how you found help out there. And you can join that conversation on social media.